should've seen how I pulled up. Your girl got an Instagram clip. 15 seconds ain't enough. We talking about a motherfucking feature film. And I heard you was mad at us. That's what I heard. Well, wait until you get a load of this. Rally strike 71. Scratched off like a lottery ticket. Yeah, me and your bitch. Marijuana and liquor. Her favorite. Mama got good sense, but her head gang crazy. She on the bed like a stripper stage going in. She busted open like an SLS Mercedes. Do it for a G. 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 All I wanna be is all that I could be. All that I could be.
All the hustle.
That's why they fuck with me.
Do it for a G. Or BAND.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 94 of the SplashCast. I am your co-host, Reggie.
Welcome. I'm happy to be here. I'm your co-host, Norwood, the pod god. How you feeling today, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Shawty, you know, I feel good, look good. You know what I mean? I'm out here. You know it is. Appreciate everybody turning in to episode 94 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. If you have a chance and you're listening.
Doing it raw.
All right. Yeah. Okay. If you're listening to this, to the recorded version, go back and listen to the pregame if you haven't already. Tiger Woods locked his girlfriend out, is now being sued for an exorbitant amount of money, and some people celebrate on the track too soon. Go take a listen. With that being said,
sometimes you gotta lock your girlfriend out, man. That's it. Yeah, got tired of her. She gotta go home. You gotta go to her home.
So, but before we get started, man, what can the people do?
Like, follow, subscribe. Also, another 36 pack on Wednesday. If you missed the last one, go immerse yourself in that one. And by the time you really get done on that one, it will be Wednesday. The new one will be out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition, we talk about our HBCU news around the culture, news around basketball, NBA and college, news around football, NBA and college as well, and then our splashes of the week when necessary. I think we should actually just change it to the pregame is the splashes of the week. We'll just do it that way. Pregame splashes of the week.
On the fly. I like it.
But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with news around the culture. More football news when it comes to a Florida school. But now what you thinking? Something positive. Chad Johnson and FAMU have agreed that Chad Johnson will be their athletics ambassador and consultant. That sounds like more, well, what do you think that is?
It's whatever they want. This is perfect. Wear FAMU stuff, do things on behalf of FAMU, or just do regular things with a bunch of FAMU stuff on. And I actually like Chad because he's actually a very good marketer. He's a very good personality, and from my understanding, he's had an affinity for FAMU and always supported the school. So I don't really think this is too much different than what he's doing.
Well, yeah, he's always said he's adopted FAMU as his like HBCU school, but like I want to know what his role will be. Like, what is he gonna? I know ambassador. I guess well, I'm pretty sure he's going to go. He's gonna basically, it's a sponsorship. He's gonna wear a lot of FAMU paraphernalia everywhere, I would assume. I also assume that he will be like I guess like almost like a brand ambassador, like
exactly. That's exactly what it'll be.
I'm trying not to call him an IG model, but I mean, you know how like IG model.
Like he's not. I don't foresee him making any major decisions, but it's a way to grow the brand. Even in retirement, he's a very active player. He does podcasts. All types of different things, and he's very responsible with his money, and I'm sure he'll be responsible with the brand. So.
Yeah, man, I like it.
I support Chad Ochocinco. Chad Johnson, whatever your name may be.
We'd always supported you, man. We
stuff.
think. I mean, you've had some
one
trouble
of
in
my
the past, but he's always owned up to who he is. So
like one. I mean, we all have gotten in trouble once in life. Like, for the most, great guy as far as I'm concerned.
So shout out to Chad, man. Shout out to he will be marketing ambassador for both the brand of FAMU and will help with recruiting, which I kind of figured that's what that meant. That's what that meant. So shout out, shout out to Chad, former Boston College.
Wow, Reggie, yeah. Happy Black History Month. Nice work, Reggie. Boston College was the bad part about it.
You could have. No, I mean, because BC is the same colors. That's what caught me.
You're right. It's just it's Boston College.
Former Bethune-Cookman head coach, Coach Sims, is going to join Eddie Robinson Jr.'s staff at Alabama State. Of course, Eddie Robinson Jr., Coach Terry Sims, he would like to thank. He definitely released a press statement thanking Bethune-Cookman. He was relieved of duties as then they had the whole Ed Reed situation. But he's now joining a great, I think, one of the more underrated staffs in black college football, Eddie Robinson Jr. Alabama State is going to be a problem next year.
I 100% agree. He keeps adding pieces to this team and to this coaching staff, and he's collecting them. He's collecting the Infinity Stones one by one.
Because of his, some say altercation, some say beef, some say standing up to, depending on your point of view. Eddie Robinson Jr., if they have a good year, could end up becoming the face of the SWAC, kind of like Dion was. I could see the SWAC promoting almost as kind of like, especially if they're good, like a FU to Dion type thing, if you feel some type of way. But he could end up being, he could end up being the face of the SWAC and being elevated to like that all time, almost like legendary status. If he could have a good year, they'll try to put him on the path to being a legendary SWAC coach, assuming that he's.
So my question is, goes out, has a great season, wins it. Let's say he wins the SWAC, and say he wins the SWAC and the SWAC MEAC Championship,
which they haven't done.
Power Fives call or no?
Should they call or will they call?
Study long, you study wrong. No.
Should they call or will they call?
Will they call? We know.
History tells you no. History tells you no. They will not call. And they should call. But history, because he's not a celebrity per se, right? I guess is what I'm trying to get to.
Are you looking for a celebrity or are you looking for a good coach?
What you think Colorado was looking for?
I hope they're looking for a good coach. Because if not, they paid a lot of money for a celebrity.
There weren't good coaches. So all right, we stumbled into a conversation. You think Deion was the best coach for that team? For Colorado? Absolutely. Do you think Deion, out of all the candidates that they could have could have interviewed, black and white and other, you think Deion was the best coach?
In all honesty, yes. Because he's giving them Travis Hunter, who is supposed to be the number one cornerback in the nation, and they got the number one cornerback in the nation in this year coming up. I don't know many people that could have landed Colorado those two players.
So he's a good recruiter.
That is a feat.
So do you think Deion landed them or the NIL landed them?
Deion, because Colorado doesn't have the most money. Colorado, yeah, there are other people who can pay you as much.
If you think them people showed up, well, okay, I won't say that. I will say that, but I won't make that point.
I will say that actually.
Yeah, I will say I just ain't gonna make that point. But
Come on, Perkins.
Yeah, I mean,
No, that would make me JJ Reddick.
Deion was good for recruiting purposes, but as an overall coach, I don't know if he was the best.
Oh, do I think that his coaching skills are the best of what was available?
Yes,
no.
That's what I was trying to
No, I do not. No, I don't think that his coaching skills are the best of what's available. But do I think that this puts him in the best situation to be competitive? Yes.
So, yeah. So, I mean,
the better coaches are not going to get the better player. That is the trade-off.
So then your question was then, well, my question was, or my answer is, Eddie Robinson Jr. probably is a good coach that should be called out for because of his skills as a coach, especially if he has a good year this year.
I agree.
PWIs will not call him because he's not a celebrity.
Which is trash.
Which is what you asked me, do you want a good coach or do you want a celebrity? And that's why I brought up Deion. And the way that college football is now, especially with NIL and the ability to attract, I think you want more of a celebrity than a coach. Especially for a school that's not relevant. A school that's not relevant.
Then we'll move on. If Eddie George if Tennessee State goes undefeated, do Power Fives call?
Yeah. He's a celebrity. In the football world, Eddie George is a celebrity.
If Hugh goes undefeated, do they call?
Yeah. They call. Yeah, they'll call. For those three, yes. Do you think they'll call for Eddie Robinson Jr.? No slight to Eddie Robinson Jr., but no. I think Eddie Robinson Jr. would have to be a...
What about, what's his name? At Prairie View. Bubba McDowell.
I don't know. Maybe. You have more backing as an NFL...
The NFL star. He was an NFL player.
Player. I wouldn't say star. But
I'll give you that. But I think there's a... I'm not sure if they call for Eddie George. Tennessee State went undefeated. I think they'd be like, or he like.
I think they call for. I think they would call for Eddie George before they call for Eddie Robinson Jr. if they had the exact same feats and record. I think.
Oh man.
They call.
I think that Eddie Robinson Jr. could have a better record for 7 years in a row, and they will still call for Eddie George.
Yeah, because he's in the football world. Eddie George is known in the football world. I mean, he was Heisman. Didn't he win the Heisman? At Ohio State?
Sure did. Yes, he did.
He was like the first running back in Tennessee Titans history, right?
Yeah.
And he held all their records for a long time. I mean, him and Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, if anything, he's famous for running against Ray Lewis every year. And then to go down there, I mean, yeah. They'll look for him, unfortunately. So that's the roundabout answer is they should call Eddie Robinson Jr., but they won't. He'll have to do it like 2 or 3 years in a row. The Southern University women's basketball team pulls the upset of the year. They were ranked number 4.
I figured you like this.
They were ranked, I put it in the group. They were ranked number 4, and Marcus Davenport to the Vikings. They were ranked number 4 in the SWAC tournament. They actually, I think they had a losing record, like 16-18 or something like that. Well, they go on to beat the 2-time SWAC regular season champion, defending SWAC tournament champion Jackson State Tigers, 64-63 on a buzzer beater. If you want to see it, it's right here. So she goes down the lane. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, runner
from the 3-point line. Floater. Game over. Jackson State stunned. And that's it. Look how big that girl is. Wow.
At that point. Y'all gotta play some
She's
defense.
tall. She like 6'6".
Stop the ball. My bad, man. At the end of the day, I like defense in basketball, and you just can't let the woman run down the court right into the center. shoot the shot at the top of the key. Well, congratulations for taking advantage of the defense and doing what you need to do and winning the championship. Congratulations, fam.
Yeah,
Plus
man.
for you.
Shout out to Southern. And as a result, guess who they're playing first, if I'm not mistaken? Oh, you don't know? You weren't gonna guess? I'll give you one guess.
I was hoping you weren't gonna say South Carolina.
That is, and honestly, that might be Mercy. I don't know if Dawn is gonna run the score up 100 and something to 20 something against an HBCU, but you got to stop them now. You can't. They gonna run their offense, but it's gonna get ugly fast. It might be 40.
You ain't gonna stop them. Let me tell you this. And it ain't your fault. It ain't none of our fault. Sometimes we just at the wrong place at the right time. Good luck and Godspeed. Hey, I hope y'all fight with the best of them. But that University of South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball team, not to be confused with the men's basketball team. They are good.
Yeah, they are really good, and they may destroy you. Not may. They will. But I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna tune in because y'all earned it. Y'all earned the view, Sade. Howard. So again, of course, y'all know Norwood is the shoe guy. I'm not really a big shoe guy, but this is Howard's Team Jordan shoes. This is Howard's Team Jordan shoes. The Howard Bison. These are the ones, right?
Yes. This is a Jordan.
Oh, I'm sorry. North Carolina plays Norfolk State plays South Carolina, not Southern. Sorry.
So for me, I was very concerned with this Jordan partnership that you would put the HBCUs on a back burner and basically just give them the generic Jordan stuff. It looks like they have not done that. They have made a very concerted effort to spend time to make sure that the colorways look good. Not only do they look good, but they look individual. It does not look
Southern
generic.
plays Sacred Heart.
And they spent a lot of time. It looks like investing in this so far. I hope that at the end of the season, they will add another, hopefully at least one, maybe two or three. Hopefully, especially after Nike ends their partnership, but this will be through their first year with FAMU. I hope that they would add an HBCU too. It would be great. That's all I got to say. But
so how you feel about the KIY stuff? Some people say this is why Nike started suing KIY because they wanted the HBCU bag, right? Because it started out Texas Southern was wearing his shoes, other people were wearing his shoes. Turns out basketball and football players were wearing his shoes, and then Nike came and basically shut everything down, and then immediately you start hearing of them, and he released it. You see them in a partnership with Howard. You see them in a partnership here and there, and his started back in September. So what do you think about that?
This is confusing. It's not confusing for me, but it's difficult because Nike, and I'm a big shoe person, so the shoe that he just stole the Air Force One for all intents and purposes, just like Bape did with their shoe. There is you see the direct correlation between the Air Force One and his shoe. It is like he took the Nike check off, put a lightning bolt on.
Yeah, and the dunks too.
I respect it. I guess I do respect it. I surely do. I understand. I get it. I like old logos and stuff like that. But at the same time, when you do that, you have to understand that eventually somebody's going to send you a cease and desist. And when they send it, you must first cease and then immediately desist. But I feel conflicted in this case because he was reaching out directly to the HBCUs and they weren't. So he was fulfilling a need for a market that wasn't being supported. But this is the reason that once you get to a place, you got to do things differently or somebody going to come along and take your stuff. Because had he converted and moved over into something else, then there's an opportunity for the HBCU partnership to continue with somebody who's dealing with you from the beginning. But when you have the same shoe, you've taken everybody, you've taken all of the guesswork out of it. It's my shoe. I want it back. We're done here.
Yeah, I think that Nike saw a way to make money, and they saw that he pretty much was about to corner the HBCU market, and they decided to start doing that because
I don't think that this is money for Nike. I don't think Nike's considering or interested in money. I think what Nike is interested in is goodwill. I think they understand that going into HBCUs who've been underrepresented when it comes to specifically like Nike, Adidas, jerseys, sneakers, etc. Everybody's always looking for a way into some positive publicity. This is a very easy way for them to do it. And I mean, you can't be mad with them for doing it late, instead of never.
Yeah. Man, Ant Edwards is killing us. But moving on, man. Hey, Howard, them some nice shoes.
We're dead.
Before we talk about the SWAC champions, we already talked about the women's SWAC champions. Here's the SWAC Coach of the Year. Tamika Reed was SWAC Coach of the Year for Jackson State. So shout out to her. Congratulations. They ended up being SWAC regular season champions for the second year in a row. She has that, and they were favored to basically go to the tournament. She has them pretty much working as a well-cogged machine down there. So shout out to Tamika Reed. And hopefully she gets some opportunities to move up too if she wants to.
Yes. She's been coaching well for them. They've had a good season. I know they lost to Southern. It is what it is on that. But still, congratulations on being coach of the year.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her. And then, of course, Howard University's men's basketball head coach Kenneth Blankney named 2022-2023 Coach of the Year. That is important because Howard won the MEAC championship. Blankney.
Rectamundo.
Blankney. Now, Howard was favored all year. I believe they were number one pretty much all year long in the MEAC as well. I think they battled it out with Norfolk State over the course of the season. But shout out to Coach Blankney, man. Coach of the Year, going to the tournament, and they play Kansas in the first round. It's tough.
Talk J.R.
Well, what's interesting is matter of fact, shout out to Tinsley.
That's what we did.
Shout out to Tinsley. He was on Around the Horn today, and they made the point of the last 4 or 5 college basketball champions haven't made it out of the first weekend of the tournament. So I heard that, and then of course Pablo was like, "So I'm picking Howard." So Howard is being picked as the upset Kansas. I don't see it happening, but the fact that they made it that far is just fantastic.
Yeah, y'all bet on Howard. I'm like the Jayhawks. Much respect. Congratulations, Coach Blankney, but yeah. Work hard for my money.
Yeah, y'all gonna get murked. And then of course Norfolk State won the women's MEAC tournament championship, and they are now going and Southern plays Sacred Heart in the playing game. Norfolk State just got straight up playing South Carolina. So I don't know actually who got the worst. Well, I know who got the worst end of that one. I would rather play Sacred Heart than play South Carolina. But shout out to Norfolk State, man. Y'all made it.
Hey, your family gonna see you play South Carolina though.
I mean, yeah, and then I would just say, well, y'all
say
family
nothing. Don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing.
Be like, your family ain't gonna see you.
That's hate.
That's truth. So, but shout out to Norfolk State, man. What is their thing? I always make fun of their little chant.
Behold the green and gold.
The proud, the bold, the big green and gold. Peace. It's the peace sign that gets me. Peace. But shout out to y'all, man. Y'all cool. Y'all got some cool people.
Pirate gang over here until the end. Ain't no end.
CIAA, Winston-Salem. Clinch go hot take. Oh.
Okay, all right. That's what's up.
All right, what's up?
No. But with that said, Winston-Salem State wins the men's basketball CIAA. Congratulations to them. Another excellent season.
Is this wrestling? They're talking about wrestling.
No, this is.
Okay. But yeah, Winston-Salem State. No, my bad. I was reading the comment. Winston-Salem State won the CIAA. CIAA is Division II, right? So they're going to the Division II playoffs, correct? Playoffs. The Division II tournament. They're not going to the.
What is it?
Division
I can't think of it.
It's called the Division II NCAA tournament. Division II. That's what they're going to.
You might be right.
Shout out, not the NAIA. NAIA is when you don't make it. And then, of course, Elizabeth City State University Vikings win the CIAA women's tournament. And we got beat by they are 140 points. They will make it, and they are going to the tournament. So shout out to Elizabeth City State as well, man. That is pretty dope, man. Shout out. I hope all HBCUs win, but they're not. But you know,
congrats on the CIAA in Baltimore. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's definitely in Baltimore.
I mean, Charlotte was so much fun.
Ooh, we had a time.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I will never not vote for Charlotte for CIAA. That was the place to go. And also, we want to give a shout out to Texas Southern. Texas Southern ended up winning the SWAC men's basketball championship. We talked about the women, Southern University. Texas Southern upset Grambling in the championship game. It was an upset, but it really wasn't an upset. Because
Grambling has some things going on.
Well, Texas Southern has won it like the past 3 or 4 years. They just got hurt. They were hurt all year. Their best player was hurt for like half the season. He came back for the tournament. He had 25 points in the championship game, and they just couldn't stop him. And then of course Grambling had they were missing a few players because of some off the court stuff.
Oh Lord.
So we reported on it last week. We're not gonna talk about it again. You know, we keep that's it. But with that being said,
go ahead to the sky.
You know, people always call black people paranoid because we always say we have to fight against not just the opponent or against the competition. We have to fight against the judgment and the bias from those in power plus the competition. Mississippi Valley State played the University of New Orleans in baseball. It was the bottom of the ninth. I think they were down 7-4 or something like that. And the umpire was so egregious in his call last two strikes that against Mississippi Valley State that they ended up having to suspend him. Now,
Indefinitely.
Fired, meaning.
Not a suspension of, hey, 1 game, 2 game, 3 game. Hey, we need you to go home. We'll call you and we need you to come back.
Now,
and I'm going to tell y'all, because this is something I saw on the internet. I'm scrolling. I see this and I'm like, whoo, that first one is bad. Whoo.
Here's the first one.
Even worse.
The first one is bad. And you would think,
that's low.
I'm going to pause it right here. You would think with us talking about HBCUs being treated unfairly, having to play against a PWI, balls and strikes that are definitely not balls nor strikes. You think if you put all 4 of that pieces of information together, you would assume the ethnicity of the umpire. The way that it's set up, right? Nah, this umpire's black. He's black, y'all. But keep playing. We're going to keep going. So there's the first one. And he's pointing at it. He's like, yo, this is crazy. This is the second pitch. Look at the second pitch. Oh, my God. They called that. And look, the catcher was about to throw the ball back. And he was like, no. And they went and stopped him like, nah, don't do it. Because there was about to be some hands and feet put on that umpire.
See,
there's about to be some hands and feet.
So
I'm going to let that rock. We could talk about it. I'm going to let the video rock again so that y'all can make sure y'all see this BS.
That was clearly below his knees. Clearly below his knees, without a doubt. My thing with this is I don't even want to let race play in this. At the end of the day,
it's not race because he's black.
Yes, but you did a terrible job of this. If this is you officiating, you do not need to come back in. especially that last pitch. The last pitch is so egregious, and you could tell homeboy want to hit him with the bat.
Yeah, that's why they went and grabbed it real quick. Like, nah. Yeah. Also, I didn't realize that referee
real quick, fam.
That ref ain't small either. So yeah, you probably need that bat.
And it was terrible. I'm glad. And the bad part is the pitch starts out. You can see it's below his knee. You know exactly what the batter's box is. You know the strike zone. So that there's not a question in this from any angle that both of these were bad balls. These weren't even like close. It's not like he painted the plate and then you're like, all right, well, give him a little bit. No, both of these are terrible pitches.
And you know it's unfortunate. I actually got a real problem. I'm about to go off for a little bit. This diminishes for UNO a win, right? It was 7-3. It was a good win, but this diminishes the game and what UNO did. Lost. And then two, when I say diminishes, just from a celebratory standpoint, but also from a validity standpoint. If he's making these bad calls in the last two pitches of the game, what were all of his calls like during the game, right? Because if I'm Mississippi Valley State, I'm arguing that this game should be thrown out because there's no way that this is my first point. I'm gonna go off about the second one though. There's no way that the rest of the game can't be in question if the pitching he called balls and strikes this bad. Look at the bench. The bench is laughing. I'll let you respond to that before I go off about how nasty ESPN is. Y'all nasty, boy. I can't wait.
This is just disappointing. I mean, whatever it is, you need to own up to it. At least say, hey, man, I had a bad game. I didn't give it my best this time. And I'll do better. Give them some coach talk. But to walk off like that, and you as a player, you can't do anything. I would say the manager should go out there and probably,
they did
him a new one, but
so this is why I'm about to go.
The game is
off.
over at that point.
I can't remember if it was ESPN or Bleacher Report or one of them large sports entities. I think it was ESPN though, because I thought I commented on it. I said, "Dang, that's nasty." They released another tidbit today with UNO play because they played again today or yesterday. And Mississippi Valley State got beat 31-3 by UNO. That'd be 31-3. And they said team that argues balls and strikes. UNO beats team that argues balls and strikes 31-3 or whatever. Almost like releasing the responsibility off the umpire and saying that it really wouldn't have mattered because y'all were gonna get beat bad anyway. That was nasty to me, boy. That's nasty.
That is low hanging fruit. That's trash. I don't care if I was gonna let me get beat. You can't. No. Now I do understand University of New Orleans. They have to, first of all, school is UNO, University of New Orleans. But also
UNO, yeah.
You gotta beat them kind of like that. The second time, hey man, it was out of my control what happened with the umpire. But one thing I will let y'all know before y'all leave this baseball diamond is we came to win. We are better.
We are better.
I don't really hate. I don't want y'all to get it confused and think, oh man, them couple of strikes right there at the end of the game. No, we're just better. That's what you got to do sometimes. But all of this could have been avoided, and they probably might not have lost 30-3. The umpire just calls balls and strikes.
Yeah, man, umpire, you suck. I would never go to that game, but I'm gonna tell y'all a game I would go to though. This one right here. This is Grambling State's women's softball team. Softball team. You really shouldn't have to say women's softball team. Softball team. Dugout.
Men's softball team.
Exactly. In the SWAC. So here we go. Listen, take a listen. Ball in the dirt. Ball in the dirt. It's like beating on the table at lunch.
Can we get a little bit more volume on that?
We don't want that pitch. Ball in the dirt.
But one thing for sure, this dugout is
lit.
Well,
Look at my man. My man holding the 2 sodas. Like, it's 2 drinks in the club in the background.
I'm not gonna lie though, as the batter, I am destroyed.
What do you
I'm
think the
probably
pitcher is?
bouncing. Hey man, I'm trying to focus.
Well, they had somebody on third. This must be
properly.
working. They had somebody on third. This
Yeah.
must be working.
This reminds me of the dudes from last week freestyling. While
Freestyling. See,
we need.
hey, y'all be asking what the HBCU experience is. We done showed somebody freestyling, commentating a basketball game. We now have a whole team.
At the swim meets.
Swim.
There's a fundamental difference, and I know Dion is trying to take that to Colorado State and replicate the sauce. But these herbs and spices came from the ancestors. You can't get these from nowhere else.
You not gonna get this at UNC or Vanderbilt.
Genetically modify this. This sauce comes directly from the bloodline, and you can't get that from nowhere else except for where it came from. So congratulations to not only Grambling, but like I said, the guys who called the game last week. And before that, of course, once again, an excellent shout out to the Howard University swim team. But this can't be duplicated. This cannot be replicated. This came from one place and one place only. Historically Black colleges and universities. And while we're here, take a minute, send a couple dollars to your favorite HBCU. Of course, support the blue and white and the university.
Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. So we had to end it on a high note, man. Shout out to Grambling. We've shout out Howard. Like I said, we've talked about everybody. The experience is lit at any HBCU game. We're going to get these basketball games lit too, especially when Howard goes out there and upsets Kansas. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the basketball segment. Of the HBCU segment, News Around the Culture of episode 94 of the SplashCast. We are going to take about 30 seconds, then we'll jump right to basketball, then we'll wrap it up with football. Y'all stay tuned.
Hey, before we get out of here, like I said, support HBCUs and be responsible about the people you're dating, unlike Tiger Woods. Peace!
$30 million. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, episode 94 of the SplashCast, the Around the League edition. Monday Night Raw, as Norwood says. Actually, no. We're just going to stop that statement right there and move on to the basketball segment, ladies and gentlemen. We got a few things we're going to talk about
Didn't say anything,
today.
ladies and gentlemen, though. Yeah, blame that on Reggie. I don't know what that was, but it was not me. But I'm happy y'all are here for episode, what is this, 94? You're
90
right, me and
fizzle.
Reggie get closer and closer to what? Episode 100. We will be there. We will have the patronacy. And until then, always remember, like, follow, subscribe.
Follow,
SplashCast.
subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. 1 hour and 13 minutes. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, with the basketball segment, let's start out with Embiid. Before we even say anything, who is your MVP right now? On the spot.
It's close. But it's been Embiid. Even when Joker won last year, I thought Embiid was the better player. I think Joker to me is always third because he doesn't play any defense. So I always go, to me it's more of a battle between Giannis and Embiid. Joker's lack of ability to play any defense frustrates me, especially when you see teams just start taking advantage of him, go like 9 of 32 against him for the game. And you watch him play defense, he is not even attempting to block a shot.
Joker, he is inconsequential. He's just in the way.
He's moving. I've seen his defense be that.
You know what's funny?
It's one thing to be. Go ahead.
You know what's funny that I thought about? That whole plays at their pace. That's what they say for slow people. Not slow people as in mentally. Slow athletically. Don't have swift feet. They say they play at their pace. Luka, Joker, Kyle Anderson, They don't ever get sped up. Oh, that sounds good on offense. When you play at your own pace on defense, you get cooked. And and Joker be getting cooked out there, dog. He be getting cooked.
You can play at that pace. We're gonna play at this much accelerated pace over here, and that's fine if you want to play slower when we're on defense. We have no issues with that. We would actually suggest it if you want to play. If you don't have to play defense at all, and I think Joker takes that to heart. I'm telling you, when I saw them just go right at him, and he was just.
I mean, what you gonna do? I'm averaging a triple double. I can't average a triple double every night. I get a triple double every night and play defense.
Bro, you're 8 feet tall. You can do this. I'm not asking you to do anything but put your hands up. He put his hands down. He moved out of the way.
I'm just saying, if I'm Joker, you got to shut the fuck up about defense. I am the reason that we the number one team in the West.
Okay. You know what I'm gonna tell you? You need to shut the fuck up about MVPs.
Fair.
As long as Giannis over there flying
or does he?
Condor,
or does he? Because he's won 2 in a row. Why does he have to shut the fuck up? He won 2 in a row. He's played no defense. This no defense ain't new. This new defense ain't new.
Yeah. You're right.
They're trying to give it to him this year, even though Embiid is averaging like 30-some points a game again. But the whole point of this segment was Embiid, Kendrick Perkins has been listening to the SplashCast because we've been talking about Embiid being Embiid Olajuwon for the last 2 since episode 2. But let's play it real quick.
Do you have a word for the 76ers and Joel Embiid?
You know, I just dropped the book, The Education of Kendrick Perkins, and yes, I do. I do have one. Phantasmagorical, okay? And you know what that means, Malika? No. It means dreamlike. It means dreamlike. And that's exactly what I've been seeing. As growing up in Houston and being an Olajuwon fan, I see dream in Joel Embiid. That's who I see. Olajuwon 2.0. You talk about.
I don't need to hear nothing else. We have said that for 2 years. We have called Joel Embiid, and I always give credit because I shouted you out in the group. Ludacris, a.k.a. Chris Norwood, said it in episode like 2 or 3, and I said, oh, that actually fits really well for Joel Embiid. He does play. He has more moves on the block than anybody else in the league. Embiid Olajuwon. Now, we're not saying he's as...
Have y'all watched that little highlight cut of Joel Embiid playing like a 6'3" guard? There is not a move in the tool belt that he does not have. Behind the back, through the middle, spin around, shoot the 3, fade. Joel Embiid is the equivalent of a 7-foot guard. And yes,
that plays like a big man. That's the difference, though. He plays like a big man. All y'all other 7-foot guard wannabes are trying to play like Kevin Durant. There's only one Kevin Durant. You can't teach what Kevin Durant got. You're not gonna be able to get what Kevin Durant got unless you put in 10 times more work than Kevin Durant does. Just because Kevin Durant is 7 feet and has the guard handles. You ain't got that most 7-footers. Why not try to be Embiid? Embiid just throw his weight around.
And a top-tier rim protector. Joker's game is cool. But there are 2 things. Number 1, it really hasn't gotten him very far. And number 2, he plays no defense. I respect defense. I know a lot of people don't care about that anymore. But you have to play defense or your team is going to give up 140 points.
Like the Hawks did tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves with no
Karl Anthony Towns.
No Karl Anthony Towns. And we were full strength and we gave up 140 points. First off, we'll move on because Kendrick Perkins and JJ Reddick got into it. But I just wanted to make sure y'all know that Embiid Olajuwon came from the SplashCast. Anthony Edwards, this is the first time I've ever seen DeAndre Hunter overwhelmed. He destroyed DeAndre Hunter this game. Destroyed him.
Plays too active.
He dunked on him. He shot 2 fadeaway threes to end the game. Well, to make the Hawks get subbed out.
Yeah, I was about to say the game is.
He
cut the game off at half.
he was just out of his mind. But anyway,
I also think that team is checked out. If I've been telling y'all anything that I've told y'all all season, y'all may not believe nothing else. The Hawks do not like each other. They're ready to be away from each other. I know what that looks like, and that is what we have.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray
Quinn
looked
Snyder.
frustrated. Yep. But, hey, man, JJ Reddick and Kendrick Perkins got into a heated debate. Now, I'm sure y'all have seen it, but I'll play a clip of it just so that y'all can be refreshed.
Why didn't he never bring up this in particular subject? When it comes down to guys winning MVP since 1990, it's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who were they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now,
Dirk Nowitzki.
what do those guys have in common? I'll let it sit there and marinate. You.
Can I ask a question? What is he implying right now?
That white guys that get MVP awards that they don't deserve.
Okay, hit play for me, please.
You think about it. Now, here's the thing. Why didn't he?
I want to just say
Let's
something.
JJ back gives-
Stephen A., Stephen A., I mean no offense to you, and I mean no offense to First Take. Because I think
Pause it.
is extremely.
If somebody tells you I don't mean any offense to you, and I don't mean any offense to ESPN, or there is another person who is here, he surely means offense to that person. I want to clarify who I'm here to offend.
I am talking
to
you.
It is not you, ESPN, and it is not you, Stephen A. Smith. I'm here to offend one person, and that is the gentleman on his left, on our right. Proceed, please.
Valuable. It is an honor to be on this desk every day. It really is.
That
But
boy
what
said,
we've just
"Here's my
witnessed
wallet."
is the
my
problem
bail.
with this show, where we create narratives that do not exist in reality. The implication, what you are implying, that the white voters that vote on NBA are racist, that they favor white people. You just said that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That is exactly what you implied, Kendrick Perkins. That is exactly what you implied. Secondly, hold on.
I did not call. I stated the facts. And you're not about to sit up.
We all know what you implied the other day. We all know what you implied just now. Hold on.
I stated,
One at a time.
it's the facts.
One at a time.
It's the facts. It's the facts.
Okay.
I want to just say
Let's
something.
JJ back gives.
So, and they ended up going back and forth for a little bit. But
He
So
never bring up.
I'm conflicted. Number one, you can't, and this is me, I consider myself a person who is pretty good at
right up my
art
alley.
of
I'm ready.
conversation.
I'm ready. Go ahead, brother. Right up my alley.
You can't just yell out, "These are the facts," as your opinion or as your counter. Now,
No.
where he
No.
could have won this, and this would have been a very quick defeat for Perkins if he was really good at this. Just address the true elephant in the room. The NBA loves a narrative, right? All of these MVP awards have some type of narrative behind them. Majority of times, I feel like at least 80% of the time, you can guess or very early in the season who the NBA wants to be the MVP. If you come at it from that point of view, it removes race out of it, but it does keep that there is a storyline or a plot here that is going behind whatever is actually happening. And you could have stayed in the clear. But your implication without any basis, you just look like a fool yelling, "These are the facts."
Well, I challenge that because he spit 3 facts at first. He didn't really say anything else on purpose. But his 3 facts were
Yeah.
only 3 times, and since 1990 has an MVP not been a top 10 in scoring, rebounding, and something else. And he named the 3 times. The 3
And
times
out of the 3
happened to
times-
be 3 people that looked the same, but also, especially with Joker And Steve Nash, I'm not really familiar with 2007, who should have won the MVP. I mean, in 2007, you had LeBron and Carmelo and Kobe all playing out of. I think Kobe was playing out of his mind.
Isn't that Mavericks championship year?
2011. That was the first year of the Heat when he won the championship. 2007 was when they were ranked the number 1 team in the NBA, but I think the Spurs won it when they beat LeBron, who took the Cavs and beat the defending, and not the defending. That was 2004. No, that was 2007. Yeah, the Spurs. Spurs. Because Tony Parker won MVP of the finals. So they beat LeBron. That's when LeBron took the Cavs the first time to the NBA finals after beating the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, where he scored 30-something points in a row.
So my objection to that is if you want the MVP to be right, then it should just be Jordan 400 years in a row, LeBron 400 years in a row, throw a few Kobe's and Shaq's in there, and then we're done here. If that's what we
that's
really
not that's
want,
not that's not true. That's not fair. That's not true. That's not. I could give you. That's not true. That's not true.
Wait, so you're telling me that Jordan should not have won the MVP damn near every year he played?
Jordan, yes. Jordan didn't have. There was nobody on Jordan's level. Nobody. When you say LeBron still had Kobe. LeBron still had, when LeBron came in 2003, he had D Wade. He had Carmelo. There were other players on his level. There was nobody on Jordan's level in the 90s. Not one person, except for baby Charles Barkley.
During the LeBron era, LeBron should have, he played what, how many years?
20.
He should have 10 MVPs.
10?
In them seasons?
10?
Yes.
10.
Out of his career, half of his career.
Well, yeah. I mean, because 20, because that basically nullify his.
Yeah.
No, that would nullify his 7 years. But let me get back to my point about Kendrick Perkins before we get there. Those 2 years, 2 of those 3 players that we're talking about, I think LeBron probably should have won in 2007. So let's say all 3 players. I don't know anybody to this day that thinks Steve Nash should have won his MVPs. I don't know anybody.
I'm not debating that one, dog. I'm out on that one.
There's only 3. You're not debating the third.
I'm giving that. Just like that pitch. Did the umpire called it was clearly a ball? That's a ball. I'm not losing my integrity for Steve Nash. Hell no.
Okay. Well, then Joker last year, Embiid he led the league in scoring. He was the scoring champ, and he was second team all defense. I believe. Kev, check me if I'm wrong. I think he was second team all defense. Come on, man.
I was.
And then they said Joker won it.
Train last year.
So that's 2. That's 2 of the 3 that the point Kendrick Perkins is making. 2 of those 3 people.
But that's actually. But Joker has 2 MVPs, so that's 2 different seasons.
Yes.
So the first one you think he should have won?
Yeah, I guess if he was top 10 in scoring, yeah, sure.
Rich don't care. What is it?
No, it's not that I don't care, but that's not part of Perkins' point. Perkins' point is there's only been 3 times that somebody has won the MVP with not being top 10 in points and rebound or something like that. That was his point. So the point is, yeah, Joker was that the first time. The second time, he was not that. And his point was Embiid should have won it. And the other one was Kobe or Shaq should have won Steve Nash's. And now
Shaq for sure.
No, he got one. Steve Nash got 2. Steve Nash got 2 MVPs.
No, I'm not.
One is Shaq and one is Kobe.
On nothing.
But what I'm saying is, Perk's point is valid. I do agree with you that he dropped the ball by saying, yeah, that was the narrative that was created. Because the narrative in 2007, now that I think about Tony Parker winning the Finals MVP, that was the first time European players had ever done that, won an MVP and won the Finals MVP. And now you see NFL 20 years later.
No, there's a story behind the MVP.
There's always a narrative. There's always a narrative. So that's where Perk should have gone.
I mean, at the end of the day, I always have thought that Embiid is better than Joker. It's also now, this is the other part. This is the reason that there's such an uproar is Joker doesn't win anything in the playoffs. He
disappears. Yeah, he disappears every year.
And yes, if they had won more this year, if they won more last year in the playoffs, this would not be if they had gone to like a Western Conference Finals or something like that, there would not be any issue. But what the NBA is doing, and it looks like they're kind of setting themselves up to do it again, even though I think the NBA is kind of forcing their hands, is if they pick Joker to be the MVP again and they go out early, you're gonna have to change. Something is going to have to change. You can't keep getting put out in the first round and you be the best player in the NBA. You can't get your team nowhere.
Well, two things are happening. The opposite, and I was thinking about this for a long time, but it was said today. The opposite is happening. Last year, Embiid was the clear-cut favorite all the way to the end of the year when Philly faltered. Right now, according to the polls and everything, Joker was the clear-cut favorite for MVP. They're number one in the West. He's averaging a triple-double. All blase, blah, until the end of the year where now they're starting to falter a little bit. And Embiid is the one who's turned it up for the end of the year. So I think
Joel Embiid is saving them.
One, I think that's happening. And then two, I don't know. It'd be hard not to give it to Joel right now. Joel is pretty much putting the 76ers on his back. And like him and James Harden. And everybody else, y'all just get out the way. That little two-man fast break they run with Joel following James Harden down the lane, I think they've run it probably 150 times, and I think they've scored a dunk 150 times this year. But I don't think Perk was calling JJ Reddick was. Do you think Perk was calling people racist? Because I think that was such
the other part about
a reach
that
for JJ.
Is you got to make sure that the demographics for the voters is skewed. And I'm not sure how skewed it still is. Because if I remember correctly, like you have, like former basketball players that vote, you have media members. And I know that the NBA tries to diversify that as much as possible. I couldn't imagine that the vast majority of these are. Yeah, I would assume they would at least try to do close to half.
I'm also going to throw another nugget in there. No pun intended. That really was no pun intended, so I thought about it. Yao Ming always finished in the top 3 to 5 in MVP voting every year, even towards the end of his career where he really wasn't playing. Why? Because all of MVP China was voting for Yao Ming.
All-Star. Humans don't get any votes for it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's All-Star. Well, they never.
But it's still the same thing.
So, I mean, even for All-Star, although that nullifies my point because there's no way that
they have no influence over you.
Yeah, they have no influence. I was gonna say all of China's voting for him the same way all of where is Joker from? He's from Serbia? No, I don't know.
And also not that many people.
Depending on where he's from, that's why it's stopped. So
you hear the Serbs come in and make an influence on the NBA. Yeah, we finna hit these votes. We really finna turn it up. Oh, Serbia out here.
Couple mil. China like we got a bill, bro. China got $1 billion. But oh yeah, let's move on. So I do think Joel MVP will be. Before we move on, what you think about the NBA and that new rule that they're trying to pass? You have to play a certain amount of games in order to get the MVP.
I like it, but I hope the CBA understands what they're doing. They're backing themselves into quantifying a season, how many games are in a season. They're going to do this just like music does. Need this many tracks to make an album. I see it from a mile away. You're getting backed into quantifying seasons. If you don't play with so many games, specifically...
that's what they're trying to do. They're addressing all of it is load management, all of that stuff.
But if you're a player, you want to stay away from that.
Do you?
I mean, want to.
Well, what you're really saying is your contracts are going to change. Because all them incentives to win MVP for players like Kevin Durant and load management, all that goes out the door.
That comes with a game kicker. That means you have to play X amount of games to even be, because you get a kicker for winning the MVP. So now that means that you have to play a minimum amount of games to even qualify. Which, if they're going to give you a kicker for getting the MVP, then they're definitely going to try to find a way to get some money back if you don't play a minimum amount of games.
And then my counter to that would be, okay, well, then if I play enough games to qualify for the MVP, then y'all need to pay me a bonus. Like, that would be mine.
No, that's your job. What? Reggie, no. Your job is to come to work. Reggie, if you come to work 100% of the days, does your job pay you more for coming to work every day on time?
I'm not the Kevin Durant in my job. If Kevin Durant says, okay.
Yes, you are. I didn't talk to you about your job plenty of times. You are Kevin Durant. Hey, now you 17.
I appreciate it.
You hit that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I am not. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate the love. I ain't got enough talent or.
Nobody want to be Kevin Durant at work. Nah, I'm Gorgon Dragic. I'm Dragic, dog.
I show up on time. I hit my incentives. I don't complain, and that's it. Kevin Durant, Kyrie. Hey, no, I can't take that. I can't just say load management and be off for 3 months. No,
hey,
ain't gonna happen.
Well, hold on, wait. Now we're here. And for the SplashCast, are you KD or are you Kyrie?
For here?
Yeah.
I don't want to be either. I don't want to be either here. On the SplashCast, I would be hell no.
Well, no, we need you to come to work, so you can't be Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm about to say I can't be Kyrie. I gotta be healthy. I can't be KD. Hell.
Can we go to the video of Kevin Durant?
No, we can go to the video of a Ja.
No. Oh, I forgot about that. All right, don't look in the corner. Look at that right there. I missed that part. I forgot about it.
What?
Des Bryant's basically alluding to what we all know to be true. Yes, Ja was wrong for what he did as far as posting the gun on social media. I'm not going to beat him up about it. You know, you've made the mistake. Now, at this point, we don't judge you off the mistake. We judge you on what happens post-mistake. But releasing the video cameras of the man in the strip club,
nasty.
that is filthy. That is dirty. That is nasty. That is sickening. If you were a patron of this place, and I'm not going to name the name of the place because I do know it, I would never spend another dime. And I'm going to tell you one thing for sure. They do not care about your discretion. They do not care about you. And they will take advantage for the smallest amount of money, and they sold it to the New York Post.
Come on, man.
Congratulations on being trash.
Man. What did I say? Because, okay, y'all know that we have, like, production meetings. We have a group chat and all of that. I was like, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not implying anything. But the strip club.
Oh, come on, Big Perk.
Yeah, it is what it is. The strip club is, when you talk about profession, and you were to talk about different professions, the strip clubs fall into the sex worker profession, right? Entertainer, sex worker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The people that go to strip clubs, unless they shooting a video, don't want to be seen or videos released at the strip club. Ja Morant got a whole room with nobody else in there. First of all, before we do that, look at the floor. That's all money. That's all.
Now, I'm going to tell you. This
all money.
is a time. And you know what? I'm probably going to be on the wrong side of this. I think that at least once in your life, you should have this experience.
Whoever doesn't believe that, you have not lived a life. Because that is 100%.
You should at least have this experience one time. And
I ain't that rich.
Who knows what this man would? No, everything that looks white from here is money. You know how they say the floor is lava, the floor is money. But he is discreetly enjoying some time in the strip club. And if you've ever been to a strip club, this is super rule number 1: no cameras. And then why would you do this? Number 2, this is extremely frustrating, and this is just loser behavior.
It's very short-sighted.
I hope this
is very short-sighted.
This place goes out of business. I hope that they cannot keep the doors open because they don't know any parts of discretion. This is embarrassing.
From a business standpoint,
I would be thoroughly embarrassed.
From a business standpoint, this is very, very short-sighted. Was my second point. It's very, very short-sighted. If you are on an establishment that values discretion, as Des Bryant said, whoever owned the strip club sold that video for self-benefit, you've sabotaged. You've made $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 here. And we don't know everybody's situation. But I would rather have the reputation.
Night, so
I would rather have the reputation of you did all of that stuff here, and we ain't released nothing. We ain't released nothing. We keep everything here. We keep everything in house. Everything is safe. Everything is. I'd rather have that because then everybody gonna come here if we come to Denver, right? This is in Denver. Everybody gonna come to this strip club if we come to Denver because you know that ain't nothing gonna be released. Now, any athlete, they're gonna have the All-Star game there soon. They're gonna have all of this stuff there. I'd never go to that strip club ever. Ever.
And there are two things here. If I'm at Zaxby's or if I'm at church, don't release the security footage unless you need to show footage of me doing something or not doing something. In this case, I was doing what patrons do in there. Wherever I am, don't just be releasing security footage of me doing nothing. That makes no sense to me. And it's enough of this. Oh, my other point was I saw a lot of different athletes, entertainers give a huge shout out to Magic City and Magic for what they do over there with their discretion, allow people to have a good time. Because that's all it really is. Having a time in a club discreetly. If you've ever been to a strip club, you figure that out pretty quickly. And kudos to the Atlanta nightlife for giving people the opportunity to do that on a regular basis. Hence, that's one of the reasons that people love the city of Atlanta. Houston, too. We don't care.
Hey, man.
But we care about this, boy.
Life, man. I know what he's going to do. I know how to say something to get him turned on, too. So, whoa. Come on.
That definitely is a whoa-able moment, too. Like, whoa.
Yeah, hey, yo, my friend. So the reason that this is funny is they played college basketball together at Kentucky, and they know each other very well. I understand the message that he was trying to communicate, but you start moving too fast, then you say something like that, and it's going to stop the world in its tracks. This was funny. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. Hilarious. Congratulations to the Kings, too.
Yeah, man. And the Kings, so keeping it with the Kings, man, the Kings, we laughed at them. You remember that episode? We laughed at the Kings fans.
We did not. Yes, no, we did not. I told you all season. I said the Kings.
You said all season. All season.
Oh, yeah.
This was during Summer League. We laughed at them. I remember because we both laughed. So you can try to know I didn't. I told you all you want to if the season started. Summer League, we laughed at this. Kings fans, after their Summer League win, we're getting 40 wins this year. And everybody made fun of them. And they're number 2 in the West.
Congratulations, Kevin Huerter. You got out of this ship when it first started sinking. We thought you were going to be the last man left. We thought you got played going to Sacramento. How wrong we were. The Kings are a team that I've liked all season. I like DeMontis Sabonis. I knew that De'Aaron Fox was a good passer. Kevin Huerter's had the chance to grow his role. He said some different things about his time at the Hawks and accountability this last couple of days. It's very interesting.
What'd he say?
But at the end of the day, he says in the last 5 years, this is the first team that's had basically accountability for all players.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know. Yeah, basically that's shot at Trae.
Yeah. And, I mean, he has 2 players who like to pass the ball. And, you know, one thing we did like about Herter is he knows his role. He doesn't really try to step outside of his role. I think that going to Sacramento, a place with low expectation, has allowed him to grow his confidence. And I think he's stepping into becoming a really good basketball player.
Yeah, he definitely is, man. I will say he has cooled off. He started off just shooting 58% from 3. But after the All-Star game, he's down.
Cooled off, and I'm on the second best team in the West. That's fine. Winning. Yeah, winning is what I want. And, I mean, even if you look at Cam Reddish, now that he has minutes to play, he's been scoring consistently. I think that, unfortunately, more of these players are going to see that, hey, I might be able to go somewhere else, have a better time.
Yeah, JC out of there. Where do we want to go?
Running out of there.
Where do we want to go from here? Do we want to see the bloopers?
Speaking
of the Hawks, hey, we played the Celtics, and Marcus Smart and Trae Young got into it. Smart ended up throwing Trae to the ground, or I don't think he really threw him to the ground, but basically Marcus Smart felt that Trae kicked him in the nuts. And obviously
he wasn't threw him to the ground. Right there, he tossed him.
Yeah, but he's saying that he's trying to act like John Collins pushed him or threw him down. That's what he's trying to act like.
No. John Collins wasn't even really trying to stop it, don't look like. You can get it. That is the reason. Look at John is there, but he ain't.
I don't know why John's trying to
have nobody.
Yeah, nobody like Trae. Because John should have if you threw somebody from the Celtics down like that, what you think Marcus Smart would have done to you if you were on the ground?
Hey, I'm ready to be out 5 games.
See what I mean? Like at that point, that's clock. You should have clocked him right there.
But no, I mean, like I told you, this team doesn't enjoy playing on the floor together. It is widely obvious, and you see it every game now.
Trae did have he's had a good March starting off though. 2-way Trae against the Wizards. He played really, really, really well against the Wizards. He's actually played really well since they got Quinn Snyder, as well as Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
The 2-way Trae has been playing pretty well on defense, and they actually commented on it. Go ahead.
Jalen Johnson I say it every game, he can pass. He really pass. When I tell you he might be the 3rd best passer on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And his entry pass is excellent every time.
I just want y'all to know the name of this segment was 2-way Trae. My man didn't say a word about Trae Young. My man said Jalen Johnson.
I saw
that adds to the narrative of. That adds to the narrative.
For playing defense for 1 game. You haven't played the defense your entire career. You got new coaching now. You're the guy who's staying, so you want to flex, dog. All right, dog. You could have been doing this. I'm not going for that. I'm not letting anybody trick me. I'm not letting Anthony Davis trick me into believing that he's something that he ain't. I'm not believing that Trae is now going to play defense for longer than a week.
No. I'm gonna let y'all know.
And did you see how
this was Norwood's topic today? No, the defense today was not on Trae. The defense today was on Hunter. But wait. Let me finish. So this was Norwood's topic. Norwood's topic was 2-way Trae. He made the list. We get the 2-way Trae and Trae clamps. My man said Jalen Johnson. Nothing about Trae, and then said, after I reminded you, I'm not giving you no credit for playing. You can't make this up. Don't talk about narrative no more about you. You make your own narrative.
This team is spiraling. No, this team is spiraling, and they hate each other, and you're the guy who gets paid the most money. Where's your leadership? Well, also tonight, Mike Conley, a smooth 21 points. You know how many points he averages for the season? 10.
What Trae have?
40.
So who was guarding Conley?
Well, it had to be Trae.
No, it didn't.
Or are you gonna give him McDaniels giving him 19?
I get
on 8 to 10 shooting.
Yeah, McDaniels is 6'10".
And what does he average for the season? Nothing. He averages for his career he averages 9 points.
What is Trae average?
Smooth 19 and 9 on 8 to 10 shooting.
What's Trae average?
40.
No, what's he average?
35.
What did he get today?
Yeah.
He had a good game, right?
41.
Just keep adding to your narrative. Keep adding to your narrative. This is the Norwood hates Trae narrative topic.
No, at this point, all of the Hawks we can talk about till we're blue in the face. It is over for this team. I've told you that. This team, they are past the point of trying to win. That's the reason it's so messed up that we have to play in the play-in, and we're probably going to get to the playoffs.
No,
everybody is done.
We're not getting to the playoffs. No. We going to go in. We have to.
Watch and see.
Unless we go in as the 7th seed, and then we'd have to play, as long as we don't play Toronto. But then we'll have to play Boston or Milwaukee in the first round, which would just be awful. But but that's fine.
First quarter was 40 points. Second quarter was 36 points. Third quarter was 30 points. Fourth quarter was 30 points. Boy,
I'm still going to let you know right now. I ain't going to step over the fact that you still created this to give Trae praise for playing defense and then said absolutely nothing good about Trae. I'm just letting you know. Adding to your narrative.
Hey, the narrative is Nate stole the defense when he left, and he is not bringing it back. So y'all gonna give up 30 points a quarter now for the rest of the season.
Listen, man.
And it would be funny if it wasn't true.
You know it's funny because it is true. People got to stay off the damn phone. Kapow! He wasn't even on the phone. That was his glasses. I apologize. My man was up here just trying to be a ball boy, just trying to pass the ball back to somebody warming up. Steph Curry decided to do a full court shot and knock that man's glasses off, and looks like he may have broken his nose. Shim Shao. Oh my God, it gets worse, and I don't want to laugh funnier every time. Jesus.
Number one, anytime, if you've ever played sports before, getting hit in the face is terrible, especially I got allergies, asthma.
And you know it sucks?
Blind once I get hit in the face.
And you always see it at the last second.
Yeah.
Like you be like, oh shit, bow.
Then people come right up to you like, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I'm dying right now.
Well, first of all,
a little bit of air.
Nobody came up to him.
Nah, they knew that was Steph. Hey, first of all, there's a few things that I want. I want a new pair of glasses. Steph, go ahead, send me a check. I need like $50,000.
Well, if you think Steph about to send you a check, you go ahead and just say the owner of the Warriors can send me a check. $50,000.
I want one from them too. You don't want a lawsuit. I mean, this is irresponsible. Well, also, it's Steph Curry shooting his half-court shot. You should probably.
I'm about to say, we work in corporate America. There was something he signed as a waiver.
Oh yeah. Anytime you come to any sports, there's an understood waiver. Like baseball, you can't sue if you get hit in the head with a ball or if you get hit in the head with a baseball. I mean, with a ball or a baseball bat.
So it's unfortunate.
That's a responsibility coming with the game.
This is unfortunate. I think he ended up being cool. Steph ended up. His name is Jonathan, by the way. And Steph's response is best game worn jersey I've ever given away. My bad, Jonathan. So he gave him a game worn jersey. So shout out to Steph.
Well, hey man, hey Wardell, if you think you finna come back with his sweaty jersey after you done broke my face all up into 100 different, they go back there and get some of that money they gave.
And then KD, speaking of warm-ups, Jonathan Kuminga ended up getting hurt. He twisted his ankle. He was out. And KD just random. I mean, that ankle
that
twisted.
Looks worse and worse. That is the gift and the curse of being 8 feet tall and can dribble like a guard.
KD, I know you and Steph are still cool. I know you and Steph still converse. I'm sure there's other interactions. I'm sure you need to take advantage of that and go talk to Steph about what he did to keep his ankles healthy. Because at the beginning, Steph's
Bro,
beginning
his
of
ankles is for 6'3", for 6'3" people.
Steph
This
at
is
the
an 8-foot ankle.
Steph at the beginning of his career ended up, he had 4 or 5 years of just ankle injuries, and it was like he might not ever be good because his ankles, and he ended up whatever he did. KD need to do the same thing. First thing, you need to go ahead and wear an ankle brace, bro. Go ahead. I know it doesn't feel natural, and you're a natural basketball player at this point, but bro, you gotta protect your legs, man. Gotta protect your legs. He's out 3 weeks.
And I mean,
3 weeks.
Yeah, you see, I wrote it. He's and Steph, you can't talk to me what you wear, 11, maybe a 12. Bro, I wear a size 85 shoe. It is it is nothing that these two bolts can do for me. That's what happens when you're tall and elusive. You're skinny.
So what if you wear a 12
What?
and then you just do this?
No, Lord help me. Where am I
PJ
going?
Tucker. Now, PJ, the only thing that saved you was that you didn't make the shot. But the second thing, first off, PJ, it's funny that you wiped your shoes because you are the shoe man of the NBA. If there's anybody that can get the shoes that have the perfect traction for the court, it's you. So we know that this stumble from Torrey Craig made you fall without dribbling the ball. He didn't dribble. All he did was he made you spin around and fall from the 3-point line to the paint. He started falling at the thing.
He made it look like he was doing capoeira, like when they do this, then they come back the other
Eddie
way.
Gordo. Eddie Gordo.
Yes.
From Tekken 2.
He looked like Eddie from Tekken. It looked like a crab walk. It looked like a bear crawl. It looked like life was coming at you too fast. Everything happened. Hey, man.
B-boy dancer. He looked like all of that, man. But that was funny.
Paul Reed was like, bro, you didn't have to do my boy like that.
Luckily, he got the rebound.
Step, side to side.
Oh, man. But in all serious news, before we finish up with this basketball segment, shout out to Damon Stoudemire. The Hawks. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets ended up firing their coach. And 2 years ago, he just signed a contract 4 years ago, and he made the tournament 2 years ago. They ended up firing their coach, and everybody was like, that kind of came out of nowhere. Well, it turns out Damon Stoudemire is finalizing a 5-year deal to become Georgia Tech's next basketball coach, getting his head coaching experience. So shout out to Damon Stoudemire. Shout out to Georgia Tech for making a splash move, man. Going and getting it. Going for it.
Congratulations. Am I the only person who believes? I got a question. And number one, we need more black coaches. I'm happy to see a black coach at Georgia Tech. Now, I was betting on Amir Abdur-Rahim to be that next coach at Georgia Tech. But, Damon Stoudemire is another guy who I respect immensely. Can we talk about this haircut, though? It's a lie in this haircut. You trying to believe me that your beard is all gray like this, but your hair is jet black?
His hair ain't jet black. It's white all right here. You think he colored just the front? Boy, Damon, you should be fired. If you decide to just color the front of your hair, not the side, you should be fired, Damon.
He did 25 on the top. He did 45 on the bottom.
Well, is he saying he ran out of the dye? He used it all right here, like Carlos Boozer.
No, I think that this is a. Trying to think. This is a constructed salt and pepper.
Is that fiction?
I don't think that.
I think
not way more salt.
Not the 60 trying to look 45.
Yeah.
Not the just for men salt and pepper.
Yes, comb through.
Comb through.
Yeah, it ain't. I don't trust it, big dog. I do not trust that top. That.
There's a joke there too.
Pause. As soon as I said it, but y'all know the haircut, the hair is too black. They have black and it's blue black. And then you just light skin and salt on the chin.
That boy said,
No,
I don't
bro,
trust
I don't
that
trust
top.
it.
You know who else said that? Tiger. Like that callback, don't you?
You gonna pay $30 million for it.
30 mil for some top that I don't like? You lost your mind.
That's that I don't
All right, we get silly. But if y'all don't understand that Tiger Woods joke, you need to go back and listen to the pregame because it's funny as hell.
Would you pay $30 million to make your ex-girlfriend leave your house? If so, you may be entitled to a settlement. Yo,
my man Tiger dropped her off at the
all
airport.
the way out of my life.
My man
For $30
didn't
million,
even.
you have to delete yourself from my existence. I need to never know you existed if I have to pay you $30 million to get
You
away.
better go to an uncharted island. You better build your own
No,
civilization.
men
in
in
the middle
black,
of nowhere.
flashy thing, me delete all of the brain cells, clear out the cache, clear the history, all of it. I don't do all the phone, all the pictures in my phone need to be deleted. You need to be deleted from my social media. You delete me from your social media. I don't tell your family to call me. Nobody who we're cool with exists no more. They either my friend or they gone.
I agree with everything you said, except for I need to know you. 30 million. You got $30 million in my money. I want to know every.
No,
Ladies and gentlemen, we
$30
come to
million,
the.
I want to forget you. Ooh, I want people to ask, when was the last time you saw such and such? Excuse me.
$30 million ago. that's how $30 million ago. That's always gonna be my answer.
Hey, and whatever job you got, divide that by 30 million, and that's how long I needed to be gone.
Man, look, anyway, we've come to the end of the.
Text me.
We come to the end of the
reach out to
basketball segment, ladies and gentlemen, episode 94.
And Tiger's relationship.
You just gonna. Nope, not gonna slander the black man. We come to the end of the basketball segment. We got one more segment to go.
One more relationship to go.
He had 11 of them at one time. See, you put it right there. I ducked it.
And they all work at Waffle House.
And they all look alike and they all crazy. Got it tight. We'll be right back with the football segment, man. It is off-season free agency draft. NFL is gonna keep their name in your mouth some kind of way, shawty. Y'all stay tuned. I said name. Ha ha ha. See, we'll be
and the Falcons.
We'll be right back.
The Falcons are not.
The Falcons are trying. They are trying, and I like some of the moves. We'll discuss that in depth, and when we come right back, y'all stay tuned as we listen to. What are we gonna listen to? No, I don't want to hear that. We're going to listen to Big Walk Dog from episode 94 of the SplashCast.
Dealer's Choice.
The Around the League edition. Monday Night Raw. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Subscribe. Tell other people about the podcast.
And donate.
We love you.
This shit is expensive. Donate. We love y'all. Peace. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 94 of the SplashCast, the football edition, Monday Night Raw, Around the League edition. That was Big Walk Dog from the SplashCast 24-pack worldwide. Make sure you go listen to that. It's on all your iTunes, Spotify. No ad, no ad. I've always wanted to do that. I want to be a radio host, but I want to get paid like a TV personality, though. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with our football segment of episode 94 of the SplashCast. Got a few things we're going to talk about today. Start off with college real fast. Clemson is trying. We made fun of them when Central Florida ran down the dirty-ass hill. Now, but the football team has unveiled the Clemson Athletics Branding Institute, or the CAB, is the first dedicated facility for student-athlete branding and NIL education. It has 1,200 square feet, 2 stories attached to the west end of the school's Poe indoor facility. And if you're watching this, you can see all of. Is this a mixer? You can see all of the amenities of it, where they can have their own NIL, they can have their own podcast, they can host their own shows, as well as shoot their own content. So shout out to Clemson. Go ahead.
You believe this?
Do I believe what?
This as a program, do you believe it? Do you trust it?
There's an NIL facility?
Yeah, do you think this is good or bad?
The Branding Institute?
I think this is a trick. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, tell me more. I'm
Embeds,
confused.
This embeds Clemson into all of their players' NIL deals. This is basically a way to, hey, well, we helped you with this. You used our facility and all of this. So this is an immense amount of control. It's good because you have these type of things, but I don't trust this for 1 minute. This is like working for the company that has the video games, the massage chairs, and all that stuff. It sounds good until somebody sees you actually use it. Then when they see that, what are they going to say? Shouldn't you be at practice? Oh, you think you're just going to come in here and shoot a couple episodes a week for your podcast? Hey, we're not really seeing the production on the field for you to be. We think that you're taking this podcasting way more seriously than you are your football.
I mean, from that angle, yeah, I could see that happening. I would hope that from a work production standpoint, I mean, that conversation is gonna. If you were the coach and your player can't remember what the hot route call is, but is in here shooting an episode every day, then you're gonna be like, hey man, where are your priorities? And I mean, I think that's fair. What I did not think about and what I don't like is Clemson trying to get in on the NIL money.
All of your content. All your content came from where? You think they're just gonna let you put this out? And
you could also look at it as the content that you put out for. How do you don't know what this is going to be for, right? You don't know if they're going to allow you. We don't know the rules, so they may be shooting a whole bunch of content that goes for Clemson, or that goes for that has to do with Clemson and the player, and then they split the money. I don't know.
Wait.
But I hope that that's not the case, because at the end of the day, if that's the case, then I can just go shoot this at my house. No, I think that's a valid point. I think that's something that players need to discuss on the front end. If you use this facility, any content that you make means what? As a recruit, you might
be 16. You're a freshman in college.
You got to have your. But that's why, at this point, if you're going to be in the NIL discussion and conversation and ecosystem, you got to have some type of representation. Eventually, you're going to have something.
You got to go to. You have
to have an agent.
Lawyer now.
You got to have an agent.
Yeah.
Almost at. Wow. Stumbled on this conversation. You got to have an agent almost in high school, one, and then two. If I'm a sports agency, I dramatically increase my internship department. I want every friend of these. Because you're gonna need an agent. If you're gonna have this conversation with somebody that's an agent. I mean, if you're gonna go into college with somebody that's an agent, then I want your agent to be with me. If I'm an agency, I'm increasing my younger demographic.
They're not letting interns handle these. These guys are making a ton of money.
No. You're not gonna handle it, but you will bring them in. It's almost like being an assistant A&R or something like that. Like you're bringing the athlete to the agent, and you're the mediary. As an intern.
I think your best case scenario is the athlete has a friend, and he is more demanding that my friend does whatever. It's I
hire the friend.
Me and my cousins all going to school here, and then everybody gets a scholarship type of thing.
Yeah, I mean you could do that too.
But
I definitely think that they're going to take some of the money.
I'm super leery of this. I don't trust any of this, and I don't think that Clemson has the players' best intentions at mind. And I hope that parents and players are very leery and read what you sign and understand where you're producing and understand that when you use all of these people's equipment, they're probably going to want some, if not all of this money.
So
protect yourself. Be safe.
So when we talked about South Carolina and Dawn, you know, they were the first people to set up an NIL situation for their team situation and all of that. Right? Why didn't you have this stance for them versus this stance for Clemson? Is it just the institute? I mean, is it just the building that changes your stance, or is it Clemson? Why didn't you think of this when it came to South Carolina?
Because Dawn has proof of concept. Dawn says our girls get paid more than everybody else on campus, and they are one of the highest paid, if not highest paid, women's sports out of everybody. So if everybody is getting paid and they're getting paid more than everybody else, then yeah, you have proof of concept that you're getting people paid. I don't trust Clemson. I don't trust Dabo. I don't trust.
That sounds personal, because just because they're making more money, that means the institute is functioning the way it should. That doesn't mean that they're not taking a cut out of that money. That just means that whatever they set up is working.
You're technically right. You're right.
Is working correct.
Wrong.
So for this, it should be, if it works like they should, then they should make a lot of money, and so should the people. What you're saying is you don't trust Clemson and Dabo, and I think you don't trust Dabo because it's personal.
And also, this is more content driven. I think that, and don't get me wrong here, I think their girls are more like NIL deal. Like, hey, I go do this. This is my sponsorship. Content is different. You and I know that 100%. Where you create your content, how you house your content, whose responsibility of that content, that is way different than, hey, I'm going to sign up at this McDonald's and I come here every Tuesday and sign autographs. I'm just saying, keep your head on a swivel. I don't trust this. I don't.
I mean, it's cool that you don't trust it, but I'm just saying, it seems like you're giving the benefit of a doubt to one person and not trusting another group or another institute for the same thing. For the same thing.
I have way
really
more trust in Dawn Staley than Dabo Sweet.
Okay. Why?
Because just the equity between the two coaches.
What do you mean?
I've seen how Dawn coaches. I've seen how Dawn has spoken about things that affect her players. I've seen how Dabo has spoken about things that affect his players. They're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Could you elaborate? I mean, that was kind of vague.
Oh, no. I mean, well, you want to talk about the One American Network, the Dabo Swinney, the shirt that he was wearing, which is like right-wing propaganda?
Dabo wore a One American News Network? I didn't know that. He wore the shirt? I thought that was the dude from Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Was that him? I could have sworn that was Dabo on one of them shirts. I might be wrong.
Yeah, that was definitely,
I'm pretty confident.
That was Mike Gundy.
Oh, my apologies. I have to go back. Dabo did something that I don't trust. I have to go back and look. But yes, Dawn Staley has immensely more pedigree, not pedigree, but just cachet with me. Dabo, I don't trust. I don't trust Clemson. I'm not signing up for this.
I think that's all personal. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It is.
We'll see how it goes. NFL time, baby. And we starting out, just like in basketball, we started out with the NFL, not the Hawks, because the Hawks is fucking up. And you see what hat I'm wearing? You see it out there? Falcons, baby. We've had a rough offseason. We thought that we were getting them. Hold on. Let me set it up. We thought we had a rough start to the offseason. We thought we was getting Lamar. We thought we might be going after Justin Fields. None of that materialized. We'll wait to see what happens with Lamar before we scream the C word. But it looks it's looking like the C word. It's looking like the C word.
Because there are a lot of NFL players that have already said it, and JJ Watt has already basically said the same thing. So I'm in the clear. We all understand that that's collusion with Lamar. But we are probably one of the few teams that can get kind of pushed out of the collusion if they continue to make moves like they're making. Because if you look at our team, it is very strategic about how they're planning to do. But if you've been watching the podcast over the last 4 weeks, we have been in constant talk about Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates
we've
is
seen a number of the. Yeah, once we saw them, I don't know where it was, all out to eat together. It was him and all the rest of the Falcons. We knew he was a Falcon. I'm pretty sure, not to toot my own hair, but I'm pretty sure I called that one. I knew that was in the bag, but I don't think.
Well, they also all they all have the same agent, so that's why they were all out. So they all have the same agent, and they were all in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Atlanta got all the money. So yeah, we all were like, me and you were both like, yeah, this looks like
it's a foregone. Like if you study the Hawks, I mean not the Hawks, the Falcons at least a little bit, you probably expected Jesse Bates. I'm not coming here to tell you that I was the only person who did that. I'm not that guy. I think that this is a good move. I think that it's the second time. They're triggering me. The Falcons are on a 2-year plan now. If you look at all of the deals they're signing people for around 2 years. This one is I think a 4-year deal, but he makes I think he makes 58 of the 64 million in the first 2 years.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes afterwards.
So I think this is a good pickup, though. This strengthens our secondary, and we've been swinging, trying to get better there.
So the Falcons have needed a center field coverage type secondary for a long time. We have a decent strong secondary, strong safety in Richie Grant. He definitely plays the run very well, plays down in the box, and he can hit players over the middle. But we needed somebody to create turnovers, to put fear in throwing the ball, throwing deep passes 20 yards down the field. And that's what Jesse Bates does. And he's only 26. Like, he's he's young. So at the end of the 2 years, he'll be 28. And if he's good in 2 years, then you just re-up on the other 2 years.
And I think that's what we're going to do. Everything, we moved up from the 1-year trial to now we're going to try you for 2 years. And as we keep building this team this year, we'll always be able to kind of chop the dead weight, move it around to the front. I think that's more strategically. That's the reason I don't hate them not going after Lamar. Because once you got Lamar, you kind of sunk a ton of money. This allows us to be more agile until we find the guys who we really, because I think that's what this is. We just sifting through people to see who we like and see who we don't like.
I don't think they're sifting through Jesse. I think they think Jesse Bates is the safety for the near future, if not the future.
But I'm gonna tell you, if you look at the way that the contract structure, it's safe. It's a safe contract that in a year, in 2 years, if it ain't working, we cut bait.
Here's another 2 year. It's a 3-year deal. The Falcons side, David Onyemata. We got Terry Fontenot from the Saints. We now have brought over Ryan Nielsen, who is the Saints defensive line coach. He is now our defensive coordinator. If you know anything about the Saints defensive line, he played 6 or 7 defensive linemen. Basically had two stalwarts and rotated the interior linemen the entire time. So signing David Onyemata was a great pickup for us because it gives Grady Jarrett, along with Taquan Graham, that gives Grady Jarrett some help. And you can't really double team. And we all have seen Grady play. If you single cover him, he's going to get a sack or going to get pressure every single time.
Every time.
And to your credit, or to what you're saying, to your point, David Onyemata's deal is 3 years, $35 million, or $24.5 fully guaranteed in the first 2 years. So after the first 2 years, he's out of there, and he's already 30. So you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna get one or two good years out of him. He gets his money, and then we move on. I like it.
Or you know what? Maybe if you good at the end, we'll keep you for another year or two if we're competing at a level that looks like somewhere between playoff to Super Bowl level, then yeah, you've done your first 2 years. Maybe we pay you something for one more year. But all of these contracts are kind of flexed on. They're contingent on you competing at a high level to stay a part of this team. They're kind of moving this team forward in the belief that we're going to get better. You're going to get better with us, or you're going to get better somewhere else.
Yeah, 100%. And nah, Sneaky, I believe that's collusion. What you saying, the whole league knows the Ravens are matching anything another team offers, so why waste the time? That's collusion. Because if they were going to match anything they offer, they would go ahead and offer him a contract so that it doesn't even get there. But back to the
Falcons. Because there are too many teams that need Lamar.
We're going to get there. We just saw all these people get okay, we just saw somebody.
My bad.
We just saw somebody get hired that was insane. But so David Onyemata, we also sneaky good pickup. Jonnu Smith.
Juke season.
Sneaky pickup, traded a 7th round pick to the Patriots for him. He actually had his best years under Arthur Smith in Tennessee next to Delaney Walker. When Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator. Y'all know Arthur Smith likes 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. So Jonnu Smith, and it's another 2-year deal, restructured his contract, so it's another 2-year deal. It was 3-year deal,
Jonnu
but they
Smith,
restructured, so it's 2 years.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Woo! That is
that's a lot of height.
My friend.
That's a lot of height. With Cordero Patterson on the other side of Algier, or Cordero Patterson just running around, I wouldn't put no position at Cordell. You Debo. You are slot back. SB,
I am not only not putting him in a position, I'm putting him in awkward places on the field to make you guard.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Cordero on your linebacker, on your defensive end that you decide to drop in the flat. Like, that's what I want for Cordero. So,
yeah,
Jonnu Smith
I am going back
to
athletic. College football. I'm making up formations to make it difficult for you to play football. And I like Terry Fontenot. We rocking with you right now, big dog. I'm gonna tell you that. You've been checking off the boxes, and you've come a very long way from when Reggie first called you a plant when you first got here to Terry now we're in lockstep with you. Whatever you do at this point, you are kind of you're not Alex Anthopoulos because you haven't won us a championship, but we're giving you an immense amount of respect and rope. Now, to my team that does not have leadership named Terry Fontenot or Alex Anthopoulos, you see why we getting our ass kicked right. Everything starts at the top, people. Never forget that. You're only as good as the top of your organization.
And the top of our organization made Chris Lindstrom the #1 interior offensive line rated last year, top 3 over the last 2 years. I think since he's been in the league, he's been top 10. We gave him 5-year, $105 million contract, $21 million a year, making him the highest paid interior offensive lineman over Quentin Nelson by $1 million. Deservedly so.
Beautiful. Great draft pick. Great production. Happy to have you for the next 5 years. We're not getting cute with this. We ain't getting fancy with this. We just putting little pieces together to create us a little piece of team. That makes me happy.
A lot of people didn't like this. A lot of Falcons fans said this was an overpay for a guard. And I was like, well, y'all got to understand the way contracts are set up. Quentin Nelson was making $20 million a year and was rated as the #1 guard for most of his career. If I outplay Quentin Nelson to be the #1 guard, you've got to pay me at least $1 million more than him. That's how it works.
And it's very nice for him to only say, I'll take 1.
He took $1 million over. It is what it is. I mean, look at you could do it that way, or you could try to sit it out and wait like the Ravens did with Lamar, and then the Cleveland Browns go pay Deshaun $250 million, and now you left there holding your $150 million bag. And it's like,
and
dang.
Let me tell you, people who get paid interior offensive line
and left tackles Yep. So shout out to Quentin Nelson's also older than Lindstrom at the time when he got paid too. But shout out to the Falcons, man. I like every one of these moves. I'm interested to see what we do with the last 20-something. I think we spent like $40 million of our cap, and we've got 66, so we got $26 million to go. I wonder what we do with that. Are we going to sign Caleb McGarry? Are we going to go get another linebacker? We got to sign Rashaan Evans or somebody. Do we trade for a receiver? We could trade for a receiver. You never know. I mean, Denver just put a fire sale on all three of their receivers. So you never know what can happen. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and the other one. Oh, I can't remember his name. All three of them have been put on the trading block. And we got $26 million. So
how do you feel about Adam Thielen?
I don't. No. He does not fit what we need at receiver. We need speed. We have all the possession receivers in the world. We got a 6'6" tight end, a 6'5" tight end, and a 6'4".
Like the one thing I do like about him is he is a competent
route runner.
He's a receiver. Now that puts Drake as our wide receiver one, but you also know that he's a good complement beside a young guy. You've seen what he's done with Justin Jefferson. Man. And we got to see though. But I think also we're drafting that kid from Cincinnati. That I am willing. I'm not gonna say I don't feel quite as strongly as I did about Jesse Bates, but I feel very confident that we draft that wide receiver from Cincinnati.
Who?
I can't think of his name. But he was Ritter's wide receiver number 2 last year, and that is in every draft pick so far. I've seen him.
Oh, Tyler Scott?
Yes, that's his name. He is drafted by the Falcons in every draft. Adam Thielen, Cooper Kupp, same person to me. I said it out loud.
And he's fast. He's super fast. So yeah, that can happen.
And I think we get him in like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. But everything says that it's basically like a foregone conclusion that we want him. I ain't gonna say that the rest of the NFL doesn't want him, but I think that we want to create our own version of everything that everybody else has done with go get the guy who you play college football with. Type of thing.
Now, we were only going to talk about the draft once the draft got here, because we haven't talked about Nolan Smith running a 4.38. We haven't talked about obviously the DBs from Maryland.
With that sled, though.
The DBs from Maryland all run 4.2s, and they're 6 feet. But this dude right here, this man Darnell Washington, this is everybody else pushing the sled. Look, everybody else.
Just chopping for eternity.
There's one. Look at my man right here. Michael Mayer is the number 1 tight end in the draft. No extension. Look at that. Struggling. Now look at Darnell Washington.
Now look at this.
Move out the way. 7 yards down the field. Now I'm gonna let it play again. Look at the difference. You tell me who's tight end number 1
against this sled.
You tell me who's tight end number 1 in this draft.
He hit him with the punch, and then he's just chop. Now watch this man here. First of all, you might be converted to offensive lineman blocking like this. He just got him on out of the way.
You would think that until you see him catch a one-handed pass on the out route.
Right. This once again, happy Black History Month. Number 2, whoever drafts this guy,
Ravens.
At worst,
Ravens gonna draft him.
But I mean, if you stay in that mold forever, you're gonna be that person forever. Eventually, the Ravens are. You know what? Maybe the Ravens are the new Bears.
Yeah. I mean, I say the Ravens because they got the Bulldogs. They got the Bulldogs offensive coordinator as the new offensive coordinator. That's why I said they got Monken. So that's why I said Darnell Washington, somebody.
Oh, that is right in his wheelhouse,
and he knows how to use him too. I mean, him and Mark Andrews would be basically him and Brock Bowers. I can see it. If I'm Darnell Washington, I don't know if I want to do that though. I would rather go to a team that would actually use me more than 30 catches over 3 years. But you never know, man. But we just had to show y'all that. Now we're going to talk about quarterbacks that got signed that were not Lamar Jackson. Starting off, Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G. Goes to the Raiders. $67.5 million, $34 million guaranteed. Is this an overpay?
Try out.
Is this an overpay? You mean try out? $34 million for a tryout?
What were you going to do without him? This is the best available option.
Breaking news. The Falcons are making another move on defense, signing former Saints linebacker Caden Ellis. He has 7 sacks, 7 tackles, and 11 starts. He became a hot free agent. 3-year, $21 million deal. Wow.
You know what that 3-year deal is? Is a 2-year deal. I bet he get $21 million. He get 18 over 2.
Nah, he get $11 million guaranteed. So $7 million per year. So he gets basically a year and a half guaranteed. It's not bad. But yeah, Jimmy G.
I mean,
Jimmy G got paid again. Mind you, Jimmy G ain't really done nothing.
When
what?
His winning percentage is nuts. Now he has nothing to do with it. But if you look at you look at his wins versus losses, it's up there. He's elite Marcus Mariota, but still somehow finding a way to do it.
He's better than Marcus Mariota, yeah. He's not as mobile. I mean, Derek Carr got $100 million. Jimmy G got 67. It is what it is.
I think that Jimmy gets closer to 100 before these last few contracts drop.
He gets another $100 million contract? I like it because he's going back to Josh McDaniels, that's the person that was his offensive coordinator when he had his breakout season.
There's just such I talk about every week. I think there's a quarterback deficit. There are more jobs than there are good quarterbacks, qualified quarterbacks, and not even qualified quarterbacks. I want to be very clear. I don't consider Jimmy G a qualified quarterback. Derek Carr is probably the bottom tier qualified quarterback, and I don't think that there are enough guys to go for all the teams. So I think there's always going to be about a third of the NFL that is playing with backups or guys who are headed to be back.
So everybody's a version of Kirk Cousins, the sneaky. Kirk Cousins is a regular white man, the sneaky.
The most average. And that's the thing about Jimmy G is kind of like Derek Carr to the Saints. Well, we couldn't start over with the rookie quarterback because there are not enough of them to go around. So this is the only thing I can do to keep my team, which if you look at it, when they have Devontae Adams, they franchise tag Josh Jacobs. What's the tight end? Darren Waller. He has weapons. But I don't for 1 minute believe that Jimmy G is capable of getting the ball to his weapons consistently.
Now, the 49ers, while they don't have a quarterback, but they do have a quarterback, but they really don't have a quarterback, they added another one to the mix. Your man. Your boy.
Trash.
So.
Trash.
And keeping up with it, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold.
Trash.
What was the last person we just talked about? I had a brain fart.
Scam Darnold, Jimmy G, David.
Jimmy G as well. All guys signed. Lamar, no contract.
Well, Lamar is probably gonna get paid more than all three of these guys combined.
Yep. In other news, man, the Bears are all in on Justin Fields, apparently. Or are they? They're in on Justin Fields for another year. They traded the first pick to the Carolina Panthers for DJ Moore and the 9th pick, I believe. And then they got like 4 picks. They got a first and a second and a first and a second next year, and they got DJ Moore. So they got 5 assets for the first pick so that Carolina can move up to the number 1 pick, and I assume draft a quarterback. I'm hearing CJ Stroud.
Do you believe that CJ Stroud is that good?
I don't believe any
to give up all of this.
I don't think any of the quarterbacks are that good.
This is the worst quarterback draft to do this.
I would have done this next year.
This is a very, very stupid move by the Panthers. Now they don't have anybody to throw to. And what y'all may or may not be able to see on the caption here, DJ Moore actually has more receiving yards than any other wide receiver in Bears history. He would be the number 1 receiver in Bears history. I want to put this in context because maybe you guys don't know how long the Bears have been around. The Bears have been around since 1920. So now you're thinking to yourself, Chris, isn't it 2023? So it's been 100 years, and the Bears have never had one wide receiver that's had more than 5,000 some yards? Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. The Bears the Bears have been a running offense.
That's terrible.
They've been a running offense since
forever.
1920. Yeah, I mean,
since 1920.
Yes. When have they ever aired? Obviously, they have. The leading receiver got less than 5,000 yards. Where else have they not been a running offense? I mean,
how do you be unsuccessful and do the same thing for 100 years?
Well, now they've been successful in 100 years. Huh?
When was the last time they were successful? And let me put into context exactly how accurate this is. Johnny Morris is Chicago's all-time leader with 5,059 yards during his 10 years with the Bears from 1958, which is the year my father was born, to 1967. They haven't even had a good receiver in the passing era of football. Thoughts and prayers to all Bears fans. I'm sorry that your leadership is.
I mean, think about it. I'm not surprised that this is bad. I mean, this is bad, but up until the last 20 years, their calling card has been running the ball. That has been running the ball in defense. That's been their calling card since the 80s. Well, obviously since the 50s, since the 20s. It's been running the ball in defense. When they won the Super Bowl in 1985, right? Or 84, whatever year that was. It was Walter Payton and the defense. And was it Willie Goat? That was it.
Oh, yes. And I also want to put this in more context. Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver, Ring of Honor, I think, but not Hall of Famer. He has 10,863 yards. He has basically double the leading wide receiver for the Bears. And if you followed the Falcons for a long time, be the most successful team of all.
Yeah, but we air it now. One thing we do is throw the ball now. They throw the ball. Even when we run the ball, we still would throw the ball. The Bears don't throw the ball. Also, the Bears have missed on almost every quarterback they've drafted. Every single one.
What I'm trying to say is the Bears, first of all, are playing in the wrong, not even decade. They're playing in the wrong millennium.
Yeah, in the wrong dimension. Y'all need to go get the Infinity Stones and snap yourself back to before they did the starting pad. You can go somewhere else. Who was the last good Bears quarterback?
Rex Grossman.
Exactly.
Go Gators.
For 1 year. Kyle Orton? You got Kyle Orton.
Jake Plummer, probably.
Jake Plummer was there? I didn't think he was ever there. I thought he was in Denver.
No, not Jake the Snake. Who's the guy who's just like Jake the Snake, but not him?
The one that
Brandon Marshall didn't like.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler, that same person.
Jim McMahon. Paul Hallis. He was a coach.
The Bears are irresponsible. At a certain point, you have to be like, damn.
You know what? You know what, Baltimore? I apologize. I don't apologize per se. But I'm going to shoot y'all a little bit of relief. I'm not going to keep talking about y'all swinging and missing on all these wide receivers that y'all drafting. Because the Bears have been in existence for 100 years. we cannot name one quarterback or one good receiver
in 100 years.
One quarterback or one good receiver from the Bears. Not one. Name and I'm sure we're missing some, but for the Bears, all I can think about is linebackers, defensive line, defense, running backs, and dang, what's the coach name? He was the tight end. He ended up being the coach. Mike Ditka. That's all I can think of.
You want to know something real messed up?
Mm-hmm.
Let me name the top 5 receiving yards for the Bears. Tell you, Johnny Morris, who played in 1958. Arlen Hill, who played in 1954. Alshon Jeffrey played 4 years. Walter Payton is the 4th leading wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. Mike Ditka, number 5, to round it out.
They have no receivers in the Hall of Fame. They have no receivers. I'm looking. We did not mean it. We got other stuff to talk about, but this is crazy.
To have multiple running backs in your Hey man, if y'all Bears fan, thoughts and prayers to y'all, man. Y'all
ain't no way there still should be Bears fans. They don't throw the ball forward. They got Justin Fields, and they've had a quarterback lead the league or be top 10 in rushing. Come on, man.
They have been around for 104 seasons. Take this team away from Chicago. Take it out of Chicago, put it somewhere else. Sanitize this and start over. This is disrespectful.
So
this is trash. I want to and congrats to DJ Moore. You might, hey, you go there and set records, my friend.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I'd have incentive based. I want to do it. Fine. I break the Bears single season record for receiving. Done. I already done that. But okay.
Easy money.
So with these moves, the Bears they also signed Tremaine Edmonds, which was a fantastic signing, by the way, replacing Roquan.
They hustle the Panthers.
Tremaine Edwards came from the Bill, but yeah, this one, DJ Moore, they now have him, Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet, and Darnell Mooney. That's That's a full offense. All they need is now, if I were them, I might trade down again, because I'm telling you right now, all you need is a running back. And you still have all of this money. Yeah, Bijan Robinson. But you still also have all this money. You ain't signed nobody. Tremaine Edmonds, I think he got $84 million. 4 years, $84 million. 64. 4 years, 64, because it's $16 million a year. You had $80-something million in cap space.
Yeah.
If I'm them, the first person I'm signing, if I'm them, is Orlando Brown from the Chiefs. He's a free agent. I'm signing him tomorrow.
Would definitely help.
Then, if I got more money, I'm trading for Laramie Tunsil. Boom.
Oh, you really aggressive. You want.
They have $80 million in cap space. They've only used like 20.
Right.
Why not? Now you talk about eliminating, building a team around somebody and eliminating excuses. I've given you DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet, Orlando Brown, Laramie Tunsil, Darnell Mooney. All you need, and then I drafted you a running back. You've got to be good. We have doubled down on you.
You got to give me some. You got to give me some.
Some what?
You got to give me a coordinator too. I still need a play caller. All of that is well and good, but you got to have a play caller. Now, might not need the greatest play caller, but I still need. Now, Sneaky, I agree with you, but sometimes you have to give up. You got to change something. If they keep going after defense, you're going to end up becoming the Ravens. And if Josh is still watching, cover your ears. But if I'm an offensive player, I'm not interested in going to Baltimore. There's nothing about Baltimore that is intriguing to me as a wide receiver or, like a hybrid tight end, Kyle Pitts type of thing. You already got Mark Andrews over there who plays that position. And then you guys are not going to throw the ball that often. I'm not going there. I want to go somewhere where I can get paid again.
So Luke Getsy is now the Bears offensive coordinator.
Trust it.
So I believe he specializes in working with, this is like all offensive coordinators are supposed to, specializes in working with with quarterbacks. So, we will see, man. We will see. But the Bears, they to me, they're having a really good offseason right now. But it could be a really bad offseason if you traded away the number one pick and any one of these quarterbacks happens to be good and Justin Fields is not. Right, but you're also assuming that. But you're assuming that Carolina's going to be
good.
Well, I didn't think about this point. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. Next year's quarterback draft is supposed to be better than this year, right? By far, because it's got Caleb Williams number one. They have
him out of there if it don't work.
They have 2 number 1 picks next year. We're assuming that Carolina's going to be ass next year. Mm-hmm. Ass-tastic. They're about to lose some defensive players.
Hadn't heard that one in a while.
And they ain't got no offensive players. They had DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey, and both of them are gone. So you assume that Panthers pick is going to be a top 10, top 5 pick. And if Justin Fields isn't good, then all these pieces you put around him ain't going to do nothing but get you into the late lottery anyway. So then you have 2 lottery picks to trade for the first pick, and you could get Caleb Williams. This is a genius move by the GM, and y'all try to talk bad about that man. Woo! This is not bad.
No. Flexing what he had into what he got in return, without a doubt, was a win. I don't think that goes without saying or without question as far as I'm concerned. Now, I will tell you, if I'm Baker Mayfield, this is a place that I'm trying to get.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the inn is full now in San Francisco with Brock Purdy, with Trey Lance, and with Scam Darnold. But I feel like you could just wait in the wings over here in Chicago. And if this Justin Fields thing doesn't materialize, and let's be real, they still let him get hit a lot last year. You could go there and kind of clean up. Baker Mayfield should look for all the cleanup. You trash man right now.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition. We've covered football, basketball, news around the culture and HBCU, as well as we had a hell of a pregame with a $30 million mistake. Y'all make sure you follow, subscribe.
One mistake.
Norwood.
Hope he mistake.
If we didn't forget anything, Norwood.
Boy, yep. Dude, throw that away. I was about to say something inappropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages,
Patreon.
This has been fun. This has been fantastic. Before I tell you anything, I want to tell you to like. I want to tell you to follow. I want you to tell you to subscribe. Thank you guys for hanging out through the audio experience. If you're listening, through the video experience, if you're watching. You could have been anywhere else in the world. You came and kicked it with me and Reggie. We truly appreciate that. With that said, number one, more black baseball. Speaking of black baseball, Ronald Acuna playing baseball again. It looks beautiful. He is moving fast, very fast. Number 2, more black cowboys and more black cowgirls. Number 3, the historically black college and university in your neighborhood. Nope, gotcha. Historically black college and university. The person who influenced you that went to your church, your favorite auntie, your cousin, your mother, who it is. Send some money over there to that historically black college university. Historically black college and university in the neighborhood within you live. The one where you go tailgate, homecoming, just go to be around your people. Send some money over there. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the learning institution that gave me my degree and gave Reggie one of his degrees, the Hampton University. Send some money over there. I will also assume that Reggie will be perfectly fine. You send some money to Southern University as well. Congratulations to all the CIAA winners, SWAC winners, and MEAC winners. Did I miss anything?
We never miss.
Never miss.
That being said, man, y'all stay
And it's
safe.
only one thing to do now, Reggie. Hang out.
out.
We out this joint.
Y'all
Adios,
stay
mi
safe.
amigos. We
Love
see
y'all.
you again. Arrivederci.
Patrinacy.
Welcome to the SplashCast. You can find us at the link below. You can find the podcast versus audio and visual on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Our social media, Instagram, Twitter is @_ the SplashCast. We can also be found on Twitch. We can be found on Facebook, TikTok. Also below that, those are our episode playlists. The newest one is always up. We can be found on Apple Music. We can be found on Spotify. There is a playlist home, which is for all of the different playlists. And then we have the playlist master list, which is every song that's ever been on any of the playlists. And of course, for all of you podcasters, we can be found on Anchor at the SplashCast. This is the SplashCast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition, where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition. Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's a SplashCast 24, 12, or 36 pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com and, of course, via Instagram at thesplashcast.
All right, I'm gonna try it. Here we go. The nickel play the same as the skin copper, Lord. It's what it's doctor for. Noxious. Even at its hottest, it was the art of boxing. Sweated out the toxins, who in my corner waiting on us. Nothing worse than dead weight up on us. Them haters try to put Satan on us. Let's see how long it take them. Reveal you really what you made of. Send you to meet your maker. No longer patience is for the pay stubs. You gotta live before your day come. And if we ate us with the day ones, you niggas ain't one. If you don't like it, nigga, change some. I said a lot, but I ain't saying none. Stay in your lane. If I'm wave running, it's telepathic, nigga. Me and you, we ain't the same fabrics. You niggas only trying to play games who ain't practice. It can't matter. Blow your mind down, the brain matter. The art display was paint splatter. I don't even believe we collecting the same data from it. It ain't no humor when your money funny. My winter wind is looking summer sunny. These niggas can't take nothing from me, I promise. I might be rambling off a little bit. Pay your dues to play its part, it's gonna cost you a little bit. I ain't parting this shit. My triple-double ain't involving assists. The level I played on is hard as it gets. I'm the smartest with this. I'm eating hearty where the heartless exist. Can't feel it.